Up next, representing an organization called Luke's Wings, Dakota Beerley.
Okay, so raise a hand. How many of you would be willing to die for someone in this room? Okay. Our service members go to war every single day to do just that. They don't know you, they don't know you, they don't know your name, they don't know your story, but they go to war every single day to fight for our freedom. And what happens is sometimes they come back and they are not the same. So we are Luke's Wings. What we do is we provide free airfare for wounded warriors and their loved ones. And what happens, we have Walter Reed Military Medical Center right here in our community in Bethesda, Maryland. And what a lot of people don't understand is these recoveries, there have been over 50,000 warriors injured since 15 years of war. Now think about it, 50,000 people, and that number is still growing because we are still at war. And when they come back and they lose their legs, they have PTS, they have a TBI, they're not the same. And they're here recovering for years. So we make sure that there's somebody always by their side. We make sure that their mom, their dad, their wife, their children, their best friend, that they have the means to get to them, to hold their hand for a surgery or whatever it may be. Our video, if granted, will tell their stories. It's not about the flight that they take, it's about the story behind them. Sergeant Zachary Herrick was shot in the face, and he is still recovering 6 years later. Staff Sergeant Brandon Dotson is a double amputee. His family lives in California. And think about it. A flight to and from California is not cheap. It's not something that you can do on a whim because you find out he's going into emergency surgery the next morning. That's where we come in. That's where we make sure that they're always surrounded by they have the love and the support needed for the recovery because, they are very brave and they're very heroic out on that battlefield, but coming back and their life is changed. And doing that alone is really hard. I'm sick. I was sick this morning and all I wanted was my mom, and I'm sure many of you can appreciate that. And thousands of people are going through the recovery process right now. Thousands of wives, husbands, children. They're alone. They need their mom. They need their brother. They need their children. They just need to see him. And so what we do is we provide flights. And with the video, it's their stories. It's who they were, who they are now, because this is a change. This is a huge change, and it's right here in our community. Walter Reed is the premier military medical facility in the world. And they're right here, and they're recovering for years and years, and their families have stories to tell. And so what we hope is to be able to tell those stories because they're fading from the front pages of the news. People don't understand necessarily that we're still at war, that people are still being injured. In the Luke's Wings office, we are 5 women who run the organization. We answer the phone, we book the flights, we meet the families. Our executive director has been in weddings, has been to funerals, have been to retirement ceremonies. They become a part of our family, and we become a part of theirs. Because something that important, when you grant somebody the gift of a flight to be there, you may see a value to it, but they do not. Because it's not, $700 for an emergency flight, I need to be there. They're going to do it. And they're going to put themselves in the situation to where it doesn't matter. They drop everything. And we make sure that they have the means to do so, that they don't have to choose between seeing their children and being a caretaker. Because 7 years later, and they're still doing it, it goes a long way. It really does. And so we really want to capture their stories and make sure that the American people are not forgetting them because their sacrifice to this country is something unlike anything else. And I appreciate everybody who was willing to die for someone in this country, and that really is what they go through every single day. It's the least we can do for someone who's willing to sacrifice their life for our freedoms. And it's just a small token of gratitude and to make sure that they always have someone there, birthdays, holidays. Imagine, you spoke about PTS, TBIs. That is a very real fact The statistic is 22 veterans a day commit suicide because of injuries they've sustained, things they've seen, things they've done. And we have firsthand accounts of someone saying, I did not do this because I had my mom here. I was able to undergo an amputation because I had my mom to hold my hand. I got to see my kids for the first time in 2 years because you flew them. We thank you. Rick Kohlberg, Staff Sergeant Rick Kohlberg, his kids live in California and he is here at Walter Reed. It is not an easy transition for these people. And they need somebody to help them out, and they're so courageous that they don't always want to ask. But we're here to help them. And we're here to make sure that they always have yes. So, thank you.